Are you ready for the eclectic one? AKA Pat is here.
Hey, everyone, what is happening? AKA Pat here. Yo, boy, your favorite comic book expert, your favorite comic book artist. We do two things here. We talk about comics. We sometimes we're topical, and then we, as you can see, we make comics. And here's the funny thing: the Eternals. I say it's funny. The Eternals just dropped a giant teaser trailer today that excited nobody. We gotta say, it literally excited nobody. At the same time, I'm working on this book here. Okay, this is a collab. This is a little bit of a look, it's a work for hire type thing. I'm working with this dude, Chris. Dark Hero is available for sign up right now on Indiegogo. Now, this is a part of a longer process to show off all the ideas we have for Dark Hero. And by we, I say I, because Chris and I had a phone conversation. We connected. He had I'll say a little bit more of a generic take on Superman, on all that stuff, like the Superman archetype. I turned it into a saga of the gods type story, and believe it or not, it's positioned to, I don't know, speak of some of these terms a little bit better. Okay, because I feel like Eternals #1, 1976, right? We're at 1976. So 1976, this bled into a lot of other comics, novels, TV shows, and movies. And the way how they spoke about the gods really never changed until now. But this is Dark Hero, okay? And Dark Hero is in the layout stages. And you can see we are using the same type of archetypes, okay? We have a superhero war. We have a Superman archetype. We call him Alpha. We just call him Alpha. He leaves the Earth in the journey, okay? This is Alpha in his the final Earth form. He's going to come back to Earth in another form. This is one of the pages I've been working on. This is somewhat of a like 70s like montage, like late 70s, early 80s, like George Perez type montage. This page has literally been driving me nuts. Like and look, everyone keep in mind, right now, Indiegogo, go sign up. But see, like we're working hard. This was like a production page that I started working on that I just scrapped. This was another production page I started working on that I just scrapped. It's just not good enough, not up to my standards. So we got that. Now, other than that, let me just talk to you and sell you one more thing before we get into some amazing Eternals. We have Uzi Susie right here. Uzi Susie issue 2 is in production. Okay, it's happening right now. Please check that out. That's on Etsy. Just search Uzi Susie. But we have we got some good pages here. This is this right here is the origin of Cyborg. 2 villain first appearances for Uzi Susie per issue. So here we go. Everybody loves to love Jack Kirby, right? Right? Everybody is supposed to love Walt Simonson, who did our cover here for the 1985 12-issue miniseries that brought back the concepts introduced here. This miniseries boils it down a little bit better, okay? And then we have the Eternals one shot. This is our reminder at this point. This is the 90s attempt. Okay, 3 decades now, 70s, 80s, 90s. This is the 90s attempt to remind us that the Eternals are still on Marvel's catalog. that, and cross our fingers. Marvel hopes when you read this at the time that you just at least respond that they're relevant. Now, here's the funny thing. The trailer seemed to excite nobody. The 1990 Eternals attempt with fantastic talent excited nobody. The Eternals, a year of the Eternals, 12-issue miniseries. This is during Marvel's miniseries golden age. Okay? Excited nobody. Jack Kirby with the Eternals excited nobody. Here we go. We got Total Excellence in the house. How are you, buddy? Total Excellence. I know we're a little bit behind, but let me show you something. Okay. You know when we were talking about the villain for the Gators? I was fishing for a reason, and I was fishing because of this. Okay. This is our villain from the Toxic Crusaders. So, hey, we're talking shop here real quick, everyone. And I kind of want to use this a little bit as a model for the Gators. Okay? And look, everyone, rocking and rolling over here, Skull Diamond 94. People, amazing creator right there. Okay? Amazing creator right here. These people have YouTube channels of their own. They have ventures of their own. Some of this, just a lot of this stuff, a lot of you out there seem to really enjoy what I do after the live. Okay, I like going live because I like the pressure. Go follow them. Do me a favor. Yeah. See, yeah, like, hey, the Kamandi issues used to be 25-cent issues, everyone. They used to be dollar books. They're all jumping in price. Kamandi is Jack Kirby's greatest work. I'll say that day in and day out. So, where are we? Like, what do we do when we talk about the Eternals? Because, look, we have Peter Begillis, Sal Buscema, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief, and Ralph Macchio trying to bring back the Eternals, make them relevant. We have the launch of the Eternals, conceived, written, and drawn by Jack Kirby. Okay? And then here we go. Like, this is the one that is underneath a lot of people's radars. Here we have Roy and Dane DeMaine Thomas and Mark Teixeira, Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief, Terry Kavanagh, editor. You cannot beat the lineup here. You cannot beat the lineup in any of these. So we have to beg the question, okay? We really... here we go. Yes. Hey, that's amazing, dude. I'm looking forward to everything from the flock. I'm still waiting for Scott to use my alternate cover, though. Come on. Yeah. Gators all day, all night. Yeah. Look, so here's the thing. We saw this with the trailer today, everybody. Getting the concept of the Eternals over, it's tough. And we're going to see how tough it was for Jack Kirby, because it kind of reads well as a comic. We have some explorers. They find ancient Aztec ruins. Aztec in the 70s and the 80s. I would say more or less late 60s to mid 70s was really hitting the lexicon. People were really into the Mayans and the Aztecs. Any ancient ruin from South America was big. Here we go. Giant civilized ancient world. Okay. Monuments you cannot believe. We have some explorers. Okay. We got this guy here that's disguising himself. So we know something's going to happen there. He's just photographing everything. We have the beautiful Jack Kirby 4-panel grid. We cut here. We have double Jack Kirby 6-panel grids. We have Kirby Crackle. We have these guys, they're villains, they're coming up from the ocean, they were awakened. This dude, when he's inside the temple, he summons something, he calls something. His identity will be revealed later. As you can tell, he's wearing shades. Quick side note, this blew me away. People, this blew me away. I didn't know in the mid 70s they had all over print t-shirts. I'm hoping this is as advertised, because all over printing, to me, really didn't come prevalent into the mid 2000s. So there you go there. Yeah, and then here we go. We got the introduction of our villains, deviants. They're mutants. It's tough for them to breed. It's tough for them to manufacture their own. They're always different. They're always mutating. And then we have this journey into the temple. Further into the temple, we saw discovered in the beginning of the book. We have a babe. We have our little, scientist guy following everyone around. And then boom, we have this revelation. And then they're like, wait a minute, you're not like our camera guy. Who are you? And he goes, I'm someone different. I'm not a god. I'm not these deviant guys. I'm something in between. And here we go. We have deviants, humans, and the Eternals. There's something. Humans are genetically between. The deviants, power-wise, are between the deviants. The Eternals, power-wise, are between the deviants and the Celestials. Okay, so it's a cool concept. Okay, it's a triangulation. We learn here that the ape DNA was manipulated to create the MAN. Some great ads for Eternals coming up. Who are they? What are they? Why are they the Eternals? Look, storytelling side note here. When we have a tagline like this, okay, it never lives up to it. Sorry, it doesn't. But no, we get this history of humanity, loose history of the deviants. Deviants now track the signal. This guy is Icarus. He kind of saves the day. Deviants attack. And then we kind of have, a quick wrap up. Okay. Icarus is just shattering everything with his super eyeball rays. And the deviants shoot, they call it a shroud gun that wraps him up, which is kind of cool. But look, fantastic Jack Kirby poses here. But really, and that's it. This is really where we are when it comes to the first issue. Now, this is a $200 book now. This is a $200 flex by me, but I don't give a shit. But yeah, and then we kind of have the next step of the Eternals. One deviant, one Eternal, humans waiting for the next stage, waiting for the next step. That's going to be our next issue. And that's it. No costumed heroes, no true power sets, a very loose history of gods affecting humanity's DNA. Hey, we see concepts like this from Battlefield Earth, Stargate. It goes on and on. And speaking of Stargate, we have our 80s attempt here open up. It opens just like Stargate. We have a little professor guy. He brings us up to speed. He's giving us lecture, tells us of the Eternals. And here we go. Ready? He brings in the Celestials. So this is important, okay? And this is a little bit what disturbs me with this teaser trailer today. See, it took us a couple issues. I think issue 6 or 7. We got a full dose of the Celestials on here, okay? Roughly 10, 11 years go by. They want to reintroduce the concept, and they get to the Celestials within the first 3 pages. Okay? Technically, it's a second splash page. And this is the type of storytelling I favor. We need to pull in the reader. So we got to do big image, splash page, big image, and another big image. Okay? It's the only way to go. It really is. So we have a visit by Cersei. Cersei brings us up to speed with the dynamic human, eternal, deviant. Human, genetically between Eternals and Deviants. Eternals, power-wise, between Deviant and Celestial. Deviants are just deviants. They're mutations. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. So it's a very philosophical concept, like presentation here. But we have some honoring of Jack Kirby. We have some amazing effects here. Like, I call these effects. These are all just like straight up inking effects. Really cool stuff. And then like we jump right into the Eternals in costume. Okay. The Eternals visually is later what Grant Morrison brought into the X-Men when he came on for like new X-Men. Where it's like, oh, we have a big guy. We're gonna call him a Eternal. We're gonna give him robotic legs. He's a Eternal. We're gonna have a guy running quick. He's an Eternal. And Eternal becomes this like Deus Ex Machina, Deus Ex Machina, just for explaining what your eyeballs are looking at. But we do have Icarus here pulling in this blonde babe, looking fully jacked. Right? I mean, look at this. Look at this bad boy. Look at that dude. Like you would make out with this guy. So we march on. Like we gotta do things. Icarus is. Oh, are we in focus here, real quick? What are we doing? Let's get back in focus. Here we go. Okay, but Icarus needs some moonlight as a wrestler. Okay, Icarus is a wrestler, and then boom, deviant guy transforms. So we have this, like, again, it's a nice explanation of the power sets. We have a full exploration of the Eternals world. This #1 issue is what I consider to be the best introduction of the Eternal concepts and ideas. This is also double-sized because you need some girth to pull people into the concepts and sell the ideas of the Eternals. And then, like, the plot kicks in. The plot kicks in at the end. And look, people, I wish I was a little bit more versed on exactly everything that happens in issue 1 here. I'm not. This 12-issue miniseries has been on my list to kind of complete because this first issue works so well. And I do want to kind of complete the run. So, like, that's going to be an upcoming video. Okay, video or live stream. Maybe we can do that closer towards the movie. We'll have to see where some of the pricing goes for this. I don't think people were very interested in this. They only really seem to be interested in the Jack Kirby one for now. And then we have a nice little backup, a special Eternals bonus feature, the 3 Faces of Maine. Which is kind of cool. Like, this idea is interesting, but does it make like a $200 million Hollywood movie? Does it make a giant comic book franchise? I really don't know. But we have some great we have some great echoing here of some of the Jack Kirby like fierceness. So we got Sal Buscema here, and he's like basically recapping. We're recapping so much of this. I mean, he's redrawing Kirby like 1-to-1 here, okay? And it's really effing cool. See, we have some of these, like he's kind of like redoing some of the paneling. We have the Ape paneling here. Look, we have the Earth Warriors paneling. We have the Deviants. Let's just go back here. Or go back here. So we can see like the apes are 1000%. See, like 1-to-1. Let me get that in frame. Like 1-to-1. Jack Kirby, Sal Buscema. Sal Buscema, Jack Kirby. Okay, this is important. Okay, because by the 80s, like it really became clear that the maybe not so much the through line execution, but the concepts of Jack Kirby were not dying. And his contemporaries, all of their concepts were already deader than disco. So we have a nice little like recap update here of a little bit more history. So, like, this is a full effort. Eternals #1, 1985, right? 1985, October 1985 is a first real attempt to pull in everything. It really is. And then we have the Eternals 1990, right? 91. Eternals, the horrid factor. So this is my best way to describe this is it's a to me it's a monster of the week. It's a TV plot. Let's hit some of these comments. That cover is rad. Total Excellence should be speaking of this right here. I agree. Total Excellence. Skull Diamond's got a little something for us. Eternals is seen as a spiritual sequel to DC's Fourth World, while New Guys is a spiritual sequel to Marvel's Thor. Also, Captain Victory is a part of the Kirby's Cosmic Saga. Yeah, dude, Captain Victory is some serious shit. Okay, I have a friend with all of those issues. Maybe we'll get him to lend them to me, just so we can have a closer look at the Captain Victory 2. Captain Victory 2 also, right, was a movie pitch at one time. So it goes to show you, like, Hollywood was on the door of Jack Kirby. Clearly, I mean, if you look at the sequence of the Dune movie, the Wachowski Dune, like all of that stuff, like Hollywood really wanted to go cosmic. They could not. They don't have the money. They have the money then. They don't have the money now. But no, like this idea that Jack Kirby wanted to explore, like the origin of man, right? He wanted to explore where, like, you know, where we all came from. And this is a guy that's seen violence growing up. He went through war. Like his own industry came after him repeatedly. You know, like he was a little bit of a martyr. So the Eternals is like this idea that there's almost like a higher purpose. There's a higher meaning, and there is a meaning to your life. Again, it barely makes for a comic. It really does, because it's tough to communicate these concepts when you have characters that are clearly invincible. It's really hard to put them up against conflict. So we have Monster of the Week. Like this is a different approach. Monster breaks into a high school prom. Right here, we got the prom. This little monster, who we know is not a monster, it's a deviant. He rips everyone to shreds. And then we have like the Eternals team. Yeah, like checking out the news broadcast. And they're now going to debate what they should do, how they feel about it. We got some great flashback here of Deviant history, which is, it's a relief because we're going into the Deviants now. We're not going into the Eternals. I think by the 90s, 30 years, it took Marvel to realize that maybe the Eternals, God's positioning and exposition and explanation doesn't land. So maybe we'll try the Deviants. And this is why it takes decades. It takes 20, 30 years, if you're lucky, to round out these ideas within comics, especially with concepts that aren't done monthly. It's the truth. But we got some amazing artwork here by Mark Teixeira. He has 6 other inkers, 90s trope. So let's just compare the 2 of the paneling tropes, okay? We know about the Kirby grid. Let's just remind everyone. Kirby 6-panel grid over here, 90s long shots. I call these long shots over here to the left. The long top to bottom paneling, we get this from the beginning of the 90s, and it relatively also dies in the 90s. So Icarus tracking everyone down, busting through doors. He wants the perp. They have a picture of the perp. This is what I mean. This is a Monster of the Week detective story. This shot here, Mark Teixeira would work on this shot for his entire career. Okay, he nails this shot in the Wolverine cover. Might have been Wolverine and Maverick, or Wolverine and Omega Red locking up, but the camera's like right underneath both of their chins. It's one of the all-time like covers. Look, Mark Teixeira isn't afraid to move the camera around. Fantastic shot here of Icarus, like right here too. Like, like it just establishes so much. But then we're getting a little bit of a love story here. We get some of the Eternals in like real life, secret identities. Cersei comes, pay someone a visit. We need you. So like this is just really cool stuff. Part 5 reunion. So a part of every single Eternal story, including the movie, is we gotta gather the team. like it's nuts. Okay, the Eternals, like you need to do a Eternals comic where they're this from page 1. Okay, because we're 33 pages into the story now. But no, we got some like really nice artwork, fantastic coloring, really cool stuff here. Sign of the time stuff that I really enjoy. Mark Teixeira Teixeira, he's put to task. I mean, look, we have a lot of backgrounds, but he's drawing all of this, and we can really tell. Look, there's different inkers on this because it's 6 parts, and one inker cannot ink it all in the time. So, like, he probably drew this within like a week or so, and then they inked it like in the next like 5 days. Okay, so this is maybe like a week and 5 to 6 days. This is like a half a month's worth of work. Okay, probably a whole month to color it and do everything else. But here we go. Eternal saved the day. We have some retrospective of the meaning of life. We have a little tear, and like that's it, everyone. Like the Eternals. The point I kind of wanted to make with this is that the Eternals is not a popular comic. It's not a in-demand property. It was never this thing that people said had to be on film. Now, you can make the same argument with Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, they got lucky. They got James Gunn on that, and James Gunn was able to do what he did on Guardians of the Galaxy. Are we going to get that with this? I feel like a little bit of luck too. Yeah, a little bit more design when it comes to Doctor Strange. We got the Paul Rudd movie, which really, like, again, it made money, but there was like a couple different circumstances to make all those movies pop. I believe we're not there with this. We're not there with this level of excitement. Like, remember when Doctor Strange came out, we were just learning about the Infinity Stones. We were just learning that, Doctor Strange had a Infinity Gem, like the Eye of Agamotto, right? Agamotto was an Infinity Stone, so they were like retrofitting a lot of it. There was some excitement there. I don't know. Now, does the Eternals lead to the mutants? Like, are they replacing deviants with mutants? Maybe. Like, I don't know. But everyone, look, thanks for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. We're going to do Monday Night Draw and Claw at 9 in about 30 minutes. So be back for that. I love you. Thanks for hanging out. Rock and roll. And I'll...
Are you ready for the eclectic